We are back and we are still dropping frames, but hopefully the delay has been reset for everybody. Let's go ahead and kick Rendain's butt.
Repairs on the heliophage are complete. Time to see if all that preparation paid off. Cleese and I will be fighting alongside the fleets in low orbit. The rest of you have one job. Kill Lothar Rendain.
Do we really have a chance at pulling this off?
No idea. But I know one thing for sure. None of us are gonna die in the dark.
Oh my god, you walking movie poster! Let's just get on with the apocalypse already!
Friggin' buzzkill.
Oh, I love you morons! Let's do it!
Gold. Gold would be fun to play. Just our Vince Quiver broke. We'll take it. Yeah, you can see that the Symbiotic Gauntlet is only $14.70, which it's not supposed to be that price. It's supposed to be more expensive. Y'all ready?
The star!
Too late? Yet. The factions are fighting to give us this chance, and their sacrifice will mean nothing if we fail.
Take a look at this. This only ends one way.
We'll ready the teleporter to get you in.
I normally go that way first, but because we want to make things harder, quote unquote, I'm gonna go to the left. Normally in a 5-man game, this would be the more difficult side.
Cathedral of the sustaining mother. And
Little ships
end of our journey together. I'd welcome
spawning
you
in
inside,
from
but
space.
I imagine you're here to stop, end, or kill me.
Yep, that's the idea.
And this is the part where I beg you to reconsider, followed by your vigorous rejection of my offer.
You reject your offer, and vigorously.
Splendid. I admire your spirit. Let's see how far spirit can take you.
Well, I missed him. Time may be a concern if we take too long. So we will need to pay attention to the time. Sir, I'm leaving. You can stay there and blow up. Didn't the DLC tease something with Rendain? It did, absolutely. I don't think... I mean, we could... Well, yeah, we can't play it on here because we can't do the 10th run. But yeah, Phoebe's... Phoebe in the Heart of Ekinar, the final chapter of it, the 10th episode of it. Rendain comes back from being veiled. As proof that not only do people survive on the other side, but also they can come back. Which is important for saving people and stars. Because they weren't destroyed, they were just veiled. They were taken to whatever other place the Varelsi are taking them. You think he was going to be playable at some point? Yes, actually. Talked with people at Gearbox. They talked about if they were to be given another season of characters, Rendain was highly likely to be a character that was chosen for the Generate character, mostly because his assets and animations and everything were already made. His attacks and everything for this boss fight, they all already existed and could be converted into skills pretty easily. Apparently if you interrupt him going to take a knee, he gets up immediately. That's very humorous to me.
It's over.
Sorry about that. God, man, imagine if Battleborn didn't get fucking put down like a dog. It was so fucking good and was all getting set up for something and the death. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff that, was left open, that until, like, unless Jithri does, like, a lore bible or something for us to review, that he publishes, just not gonna have any more Battleborn content until, like, the chance of a sequel. We do know that everyone at Gearbox that we talked to loved the game. Like, it was obviously a passion project for many people who were there. It was the first published title for a lot of people at Gearbox. And yeah. Gearbox loved it. It was 2K that did a lot of the... Now, it's not that 2K, it's not that Gearbox was perfect, because... Did he jump? He did not jump into the wall. He did get very close to jumping into the wall. I really thought he was gonna do it. Like we've talked about, this game has issues. There's a lot of things that would, like, need to be fixed. That would be great. If they had the manpower and the ability to fix them. One of which being the whole PvE being completely perfectly online forever, and, you know, all that sort of stuff. But other things as well. Like, but the fact that not only did 2K drop the ball with basically making the game visible to the people, like, I have the same issue with Concord, right? I didn't know Concord existed. And aside from people memeing about it, I would never have heard about it. Like, whatever advertisement they're doing, it's not reaching me. I play video games, like, I'm on Steam. There was nothing on Steam, like, hey, this game's out now. Like, I saw an ad for friggin' Warhammer, whichever number 2 is right now, the not Age of Sigmar one. Or what are they called? What are the dudes that get physically modified and put into giant mech suit things? Oh, hello. Are you the, You're just a hunter. You're the tiered up version of the Berserker, which is the baby version. More spawns. I think this is a bunch of babies, right? Up top that are gonna jump down? Yeah, bunch of babies. You think you'd prefer a revival to a sequel? Like, if they just put it back online and started making new content, just pick up where they left off, it'd be so good. I would not be opposed to, the game relaunching. Obviously, like, with Gigantic, what happened to Gigantic is really disappointing, because it really did feel like, Arc Games, reached out to find a developer that was willing to work on making Gigantic playable again, and it seems like they were not only not up to the task, but, like, because they were not up to the task, they basically only fulfilled their contractual obligations. That was it. And it seems like they've at this point dropped it. And that would be, in my opinion, like, I would not want to see that duplicated again. Like, if Battleborn came back, like, somebody... Because I think 2K owns the game itself, not necessarily the IP, but the game, this physical game. One of the issues we've talked about as a community before is that if 2K owns the game, 2K has to be the one to bring it back. To, like, republish it, relaunch it, basically. And they could do the free-to-play model. Like, they already did the free-to-play model before, but actually paying the licensing fees and everything to actually relaunch it as a free-to-play game. Hello, I've been waiting for you. I wanted to melee your face. Is it dead? It died. The skill killed it. Yeah, yeah, and so like Gigantic is a good example of what not to do when relaunching a game, I think. They did a little bit more, like, it's, I can't say that they only did their contractual stuff. This is a chest here, by the way. They did bring back old Motiga skins that apparently weren't planned, to my knowledge. Yeah, I need to go because there's actually timers for this. Oh, I didn't do the side... I didn't do the side spawns. If you go through either of the side doors, before this happens, it might still do it. Yeah, this door's not even open over here. It is spawning these, but that door, if it had been open, which if you go there at the beginning, the doors are open, there will be more things there. Alright, we're actually gonna get our Poor Impulse controller online. Which means that they're just gonna explode. Oh, that opens it up. Okay, yes, you can just, if you want to, if you have time, you can come in here and do these spawns. The other side has baby thralls. This side has baby skulks. And now that we have our Poor Impulse up, it's gonna be, yeah, Wrecking Face like that. And it also blew up all the other shards for us, making it extremely easy to collect. But yeah, the marketing for Battleborn was terrible too, not the ads themselves. They were great and energetic, but like the info they gave out, and when trying to make themselves an Overwatch competitor, refusing to give a clear genre, it was a mess. All they had to do was just say a MOBA shooter, and bam, it'd be fine. But no, let's never define it and try to make it and fight fucking Blizzard. Absolutely, yeah. We all know that Randy should not have addressed the problems with Blizzard, because obviously they were like baiting into that. I'm gonna skip this. We're just gonna grab the shard and, well, let's just grab the yeah, we'll grab the shard and the chest. We really just want the chest. We're just gonna ignore the spawns, and we can kill them later if we have time. But I have run out of time on this before, so I don't want to kill anything here that I don't need to. You look tasty, though. It's me. Biggest fail of this game is, or not just the game itself, which is so odd. Like some of the, we could talk about how one of the bigger issues in this game is that a lot of the Helix choices, this is something that people always come back to, the Helix choices are not meaningful on the vast majority of characters, like 90% of characters. Your Poor Impulse doing a lot of work now. Yeah, I normally come here first, so it's really weird coming here after everything else. Did that do no damage to him? No, it's a hunter. He's tiered up. Poor Impulse doing work. If you come up to both of these, yeah, so like I already spawned the other side, here's this side. You know what? Yes, let's come up here and hit these marks. Gaben? Gaben. Saw it moving on the map pretty fast, I knew that was it. So like we talked about helixes on Caldy earlier today. So like the slow on here, number one, it doesn't tell you what kind of slow it is. There's no like, oh, light slow, heavy slow, medium slow. It's just slow. So, and most slows are light slows, so and slows are so common in this game, they're so ubiquitous. They're basically, a lot of characters get them for free. We have to start this. We have to activate this. Excuse me, sir. I need to stay on that shard pad. Can you not knock me off of it, please? And you? Alright, now I can shoot you guys. I also want to look at these stained glass windows. I've never really looked at the art on these that much. It looks like it's cut off. Like, it looks like it continues into the ground, doesn't it? I wonder if these were bigger at one point. Hey, there's another 6-armed figure. I'm still gonna joke that, like, Lenore's probably some weird malformed generator or something like that. Here's another chest. Third chest. Yeah, so helixes on many characters are like, there's number one, there's no choice, because if you pick the wrong one, you're actively hurting yourself. So the correct choice, quote unquote, is the only choice. Cash additions. Like, and the gear is another great example. Like, 90% of the gear we've ignored today for a lot of reasons, and those are reasons that they could have fixed, but they did not. And they were designed poorly. Like, it's not that they were designed, like, in a way that was unfixable, it's just that the choices that were made in how they were executed were poorly done. And that's a really good example of how Gearbox was not good at PvP stuff. So, like, if we did want to look at, like, the Poor Impulse controller, right? The primary stat is critical hit damage. There is an entire swath of gear that is critical hit damage. And if you're not Caldarius, you're not getting quite as many crits as this. You can, like, on Marquis. Like, you can run on Marquis. But then, if you're an AoE character like Arendi, her basic attacks can, but it is so incredibly difficult to get crits on her skills, which are her main damage stuff, that it's functionally useless on her, really. I mean, you could, again, if you're just doing auto attacks, it's fine. But the value she gets out of it is way smaller, and you can just argue, well, oh, well, not every piece of gear should be useful for every character. That's fine. But the other problem is that crits are different for Battleborn as they are for enemies in this game. So all these enemies in here, when I do a crit, it's double damage, right? So if I shoot his leg, it's 23. So a crit on him is going to be 46 on the head, I believe. Actually, I think it's 300, so it should be more than that. 150. Yeah, there you go. So you can see how big crits are against these enemies, but against Battleborn, it's only 50% more, which I think is the double, so it would be the 46. On top of that, it being a percentage base, like 11% critical hit damage, I'm pretty sure it doesn't stack the same way. The way that it's calculated, I'm pretty sure it's multiplicative. Cool. We can go and kill some things if we want to, but I don't really want to. I think we're just gonna go back.
Your efforts are commendable. Your valor is proven, but in the end, it was simply...
Yeah, and they're all just... well, not all skulks.
Get your ass back to the central platform. Next stop, the Cathedral of Lenore.
Through here. I'd never go backwards through this one. Hey, here's a graffiti Drendain portrait. But it's just because they have graffiti on the wall that they scattered across there. Or impulse controller. But yeah, in general, crit damage is not something that you're gonna take over attack damage or skill damage, for instance. The fact that attack damage is an option to increase, again, looking at Symbiotic Gauntlet as the primary attack damage there, yes, the value is lower. But the fact that every single attack, regardless of whether it's a crit or not, because the crits also benefit from attack damage, it is just a no-brainer to take attack damage over crit damage, like if you have the option. And then same thing with skill damage. And then especially if you're playing a character like Benedict and Ernest, who basically functionally cannot crit at all. They technically can in some ways, but like functioning,
A bit bleak, I know.
it's, yeah. The value that you would need to have on that crit damage to make it worth it is insane. And then if you did make it high enough to make it good enough, number one, if people stack it, I love his claw hand.
Show me your strength.
If people stack it, then you have to make sure that's not OP. And if people aren't stacking it, you still need to make sure that it is meaningful, right? We need to get off of this platform. Alright, cool. I can fight you over here, sir. If you would come this way. Let me get his shield down really quick, because he has silences and a bunch of other stuff. Let's fight him, and then once we get to the ads, we can talk again. I can read the chat. And that's not even the worst piece of gear. We haven't even touched CC gear. CC gear is an actual good example of gear that is really useless. CC gear is percentage based, so it's like, oh, 14% minus 14% CC duration, right? So it's like, cool. I've been stunned for 1 second. It now is 3/4 of a second. The fact of the matter is, I've still been stunned. And my ult or whatever has been interrupted or cancelled or whatever. The fact that it lasts less time doesn't matter. Like, even if I have a slow on me, the longest slows in the game are like 2 seconds that other players can apply to you. So the fact that you would be lowering it by like a fraction of a second is functionally useless. The CC has already done its job. Hey, we got Nyx. The CC has already done its job. We've talked about like ways to fix it, which is like making it a chance to ignore CC. Because if it was actually like a percentage chance to just ignore CC every time, and it's like, oh yeah, well if you stack all CC gear, like all primary, secondary, tertiary stats that you can functionally get, the highest you could get is like, I don't know, like a 30% ignore chance. Which there is already a legendary that has an effect like that, I think. Or it's to reflect CC. Oh, I should do some, we should do some melee to get some health back. But I should probably kill Nyx first, because he's dealing more damage than I can regen back. But yeah, so CC gear is actually a really good example of useless gear that exists in the game. And the fact that the gear was, produced with a formula, so the white, green, blue, purple, gear, and then the legendary. Legendaries can ignore the formula of the primary and secondary stats. A vast majority of gear is useless because the way that they derived that gear, and especially because the faction affects what the effects are on the greens and the blues, which are the conditionals, that made a lot of gear useless because it was like you had negative health as a stat on some gear pieces. Look at all these ads. This is beautiful. What are these ads? What is over here? Is that the main? I bet that's the main. I bet that's the main map now, because I think this area is up in the air if I remember correctly. If you look while you're down there, you can actually see it. Really pretty. Let's use this jump pad. This one will put us in the middle, which is dangerous, but also let's look down. Let's see all the ads. Can't really see them very well, but yeah. Let's go down. And then we'll just get off the central island. Okay, boss is down. Over here. Oh. Yeah, I'll stick with that one. I'm enjoying this one right now. Cool. Balancing and stats are always things that can be fixed, though. There's not a lot of fundamental issues with the game itself. Some execution wasn't perfect, but the core ideas are good. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I mean, you could say that about a lot of games that are, like, games that were not successful for any number of reasons, and it's like, hey, if they had fixed all of these things, the game would be good, but the game as it is, like, just okay. A lot of people that I know that love Battleborn for the setting and for the characters. Not necessarily for the gameplay itself. Or if they do enjoy the gameplay, it's in spite of the issues of, like, helix choice and gear selection and stuff like that. Why does the heliophage have wings? I don't think it does, technically. That's really cool. I've never actually looked up at the giant tree that's up there. That's really cool. We don't have a reveal, otherwise we could see the baby thrall that those are. Wait for him to come out of his mode. Okay, it's gonna explode. Heliophage does have, like, fingies, I think. Also, I want to go look at that organ later after he's done with this. After we're done with the boss rush. Excuse me, sir. Oh, he hadn't completed his explosion yet, apparently. Okay. Do your next phase. I'm gonna go look at the organ really quick. This is cool. Oh, that one I've never seen before. This scythe one? Yo, this scythe thing is really cool. I don't think these statues are anywhere else in the game with the scythes. These are elsewhere in the game. I think these are actually in the PvP map as well. And then these are elsewhere in the game. We've looked at that one on the last map. Alright, let's go. Gotta get rid of these. Poor impulse controller, doing work. Here's kind of the biggest thing that you look at and go, some helix trees are neat or offer cool upgrades, but a bit underbaked, but I love the concept of it. One of the fun things is that, theoretically, if we have more people than Guag who actually want to work on this, he's gonna do his tiny mini-me mode. I'm gonna let him go mini-me. I want to see him be tiny. Sure, do you wanna? There you go. Go in. Go in. His little Varelsi thrall halfling shenaniganry. Are they the Silent Sisters? I don't believe so. Arya and Ambra are Silent Sisters. So those are the only two examples I think we visually have. Alright, I think that's as small as he's gonna get. We'll go ahead and just shoot him. Oh wait, he gets smaller if we crit him or make him smaller. That's great. Alright, you're just gonna die, sir. The tiniest fountain of nothingness. And then as always with any Gearbox game, okay, we got the Conservator. Cool. I'm not excited about that, but that is workable. I can do the Conservator. It's better than Bagrav. Okay, where is your guy spawning? He's over there. Why is he not marked on my map with the big indicator? Why is he just a small marker? It's just the one, right? For the first round? Yeah. But yeah, so my crit damage is modified by that, so that number that we were looking at earlier isn't entirely accurate, but it's like 300% against the non-Battleborn enemies, and then 50% against Battleborn enemies. Oh, you're still here. I forgot I didn't kill you guys. Alright, I have to kill this guy, otherwise this dome is gonna kill me. Cool. Let's keep going this way. I think there's only 4 of them, so I think we'll be okay. The one in the middle looked a little Arya-ish. I'd have to look at it again. Like, to me, all those are, like, very clearly, like, armor. Like, they look more like suits of armor. I want to do the knockback, because if we- I think Mundane is immune to hard CC effects. But I do want to try it on him. Alright, let's get rid of these 2 guys just so that they're less spawns. Look at him go. He's waiting for Mundane to come out from behind him. This man's being flanked by his legionnaire.
Any of us can do. Submit to the inevitable.
Oh, and then he runs by him. Hi, sir. And actually, he was over there. Okay. Come over here, please. I do want to kill that guy. I've been silenced. Oh, this block right here on the ground sucks. I'm gonna stay up here and wait for those. Because those are really annoying. Arya has those, and yeah, this is what they do. They're just obnoxious. This is actually one of the reasons you come to this island, because if you get knocked back, you hopefully don't fall off the map. Specifically because of attacks like that. So that's another example of Gearbox doing bad things. Things like that. Where it's like, hey, imagine if I was playing a melee character. I whinge on melee characters all the time in this game. They're nice for PvP, but like they just could not design PvE that is actually friendly to melee characters, even though they give people the option to play melee characters. Like, just another example of like, man, wouldn't it be great if like, you're a skill character in this fight with all the silence he puts out, it sucks. Like if you're a Rendy, you just have to sit here and just auto at this man. I want to get some right clicks on him. Let's. Is he dead? He is dead. Alright, I would like to get some right clicks on him. If I can ult on him, I will. I want to see. Oh, I knocked that thrall really far away. That's what happened. That's why I couldn't get it. We can ult on him. That killed me. He did get knocked back. Look, he's way over there now. I've also never heard that laughter. Man, he's kind of freaked out. I think I broke him with that. I think his pathing is kind of broke right now. It may just be because I'm dead. We'll see. This is gonna aggro if I take this central one. It's gonna aggro that central island, which has a brute and some other thrall on it, so I'm probably gonna tackle them first before we go back to Rendane. Cool. I think that tackled all of them. He's still broken? No, no, he's down here. Yeah, there's a lot of things that could be fixed in the game. So here's the heliophage right here, at least the bottom part of it. There's the fingies, there's that. I think this is the whole thing, actually. We saw it in the prologue earlier and we were looking at it. It's got the Rendane statues at the top.
What are you fighting for?
Now's your chance! Give the bastard what he's been after! Open up a Varelsi portal!
I'd like to taunt first. The red backlighting is really cool. You can see his arm is detached here. It's a mechanical arm. We're gonna watch the end cutscene. Oh no, it crashed! Oh! Oh, that's so sad. Man. That's unfortunate. Well, I don't know what to do now. Isaac ran the algorithm. The game crashed. We could do a little bit of PvP. We had some ideas for some PvP. But I think it's probably better if I leave it there for today. I've been streaming all day today to be able to get through this story missions. It's still in a better state than Tina's Wonderlands. I would not be surprised about that. But Wonderlands is still just exclusively PvE, right? So I don't have to worry about PvP balance. They're just like, oh, here's some melee stuff. No, you can't actually run a melee build throughout the entire game. Oh, it has the well, that's just between Vault Hunters, right? Like duels. Like, I would barely call that PvP. Yes, it exists, but they are just duels. It's just like, okay, you know, get your build ready, duel the other person. Not to disparage the fact that they exist, but like it's not, to my knowledge, the main reason people buy the game. Because again, it has the same. If that's the case, it has the same issue as Battleborn, where like to be able to duel properly, you have to play the game. Like you have to grind for gear and stuff. But yeah. Let's turn on some background music while we're sitting here. We talked about doing turn the music up a little bit. It can't be that loud. I want it to be that loud, but it can't be that loud. Maybe this will work. That's still too loud. Yeah. It's just quiet for me. It looks like it's a good volume for y'all. Trying to have a PvE and a PvP has never worked. Overwatch couldn't even manage to finish theirs after like actual years of development. I mean, people said that they were going to be separating the balance of it, right? Which already solves one of the problems, which is you can't balance for both of them simultaneously. You have to do so separately. Because they have completely different, like, needs, I guess is the right word. Party parrot. And then you can run into issues of what were they trying to do with the PvE? Was it, like, they could very easily have done an endless horde mode. Transformers Escalation. I always come back to that one. There's more popular versions that are still going on today. I think COD has zombies, which is like you have to unlock not only better items and weapons and stuff, but also additional rooms that have those things. And the way that, like, the order that you unlock those things, the fact that, like, players can put out maps for them, makes them, like, eminently replayable. And those are good PvE things, and you can do those co-op as well. Fortnite did it actually with the guns and building early on were shared. I only played Save the World on Fortnite. I never played Fortnite Battle Royale. Theirs is Fortnite Save the World was more of a. I'm gonna have one of these snacks that I grabbed earlier. It's like a thing I can just chew on while we're here. Fortnite Save the World was like a tower defense game, basically. Which was more like not Castle Crashers. I forgot what it's called. There's a free-to-play like sequel out. I think is the sequel is still doing okay. I don't know about well, but it is, I think, doing okay. Can't remember what it's called. Rip Save the World. But it's the one with the little, it's the very tropic, very, hyper cartoonified, knight, mage. Got, like, the elf assassin thing, and one other character. The knight's in, like, the white boxers with the hearts on it. They're older in the sequel. But that's actually closer to what, like, Save the World was, even though Save the World was more freeform than that, because it was like, here's a thing, defend it. And it was like, cool, build all the stuff you need to defend it. Whether that's walls and traps, and then the player's doing a lot of the work, which is why I compare it to the other tower defense game, because in the early game for that game, this is a problem with that game, it is more of a tower defense, but then the late game for that game is you're just building stuff to slow down enemies because the player actually has to do all the killing and all the work. Yeah, I think that's good for this. I really wanted to watch that end cutscene, but I guess I could go watch it on YouTube. Dungeon Defenders, that's it, Gray. It's Dungeon Defenders 2. Is the one that's still available, I think, even though it's been out for, like, just as long as Fortnite's been out. Basically, as long as Battleborn's been out. But yeah, at least the delay isn't as bad at the end here. I think the other reason that I should end the stream is because I think my voice is starting to go out, but I really enjoyed today, everybody. Thank you for joining me. It was nice to just go through the campaign. And it was also really nice to just play Caldarius in these really, like, casual ways of, like, different ways of having fun. The fact that we just did Saboteur with buildables is hilarious. Because it's normal mode with one person, it is so laughable. I think I'm gonna upload these to YouTube. I'm pretty happy with them. So yeah, thank you all for joining me. I'll see you guys another time. I foresee the next 2 weeks. My boss is out of town, and another coworker is out of town as well for the next 2 weeks. So I foresee myself having a lot of free time over the next 2 weeks. So I wouldn't mind getting back on to what is it called? Graveyard Keeper. I'd really like to progress on Graveyard Keeper, which I haven't touched in like a year. Playing some more Battleborn, obviously. And I wouldn't mind if I can finish Graveyard Keeper. I would love to do a run on Stardew Valley. I have still never, to this day, beaten Stardew Valley. So, yeah. And here's to, hopefully, one day being able to play Battleborn, like, in all its glory again, especially with co-op and PvP. Thank y'all for watching. Bye-bye.